A defiant Joe Biden has declared, "My memory is fine," in a fiery primetime press conference. The US president is clearly furious over a special prosecutor's report into classified documents that suggested he has memory problems. Let's go live to our Washington correspondent, Annalise Nielsen. Annalise, the president sought to reassure people that he's fine, his memory's okay. He really did anything of the sort, though, didn't he?
Yeah, look, this has been a very long day with a lot of developments around this question that's been lingering for a long time, whether Joe Biden has the mental fitness to take on another 4 years. So this has all started today because of this investigation released by the special prosecutor, Her. Now, he's been looking at whether Joe Biden mishandled classified documents that he kept from his time as vice president that related to the war in Afghanistan. Now, what we've seen is that these documents were kept, according to the special prosecutor, he says, withheld unlawfully. But what they have said is they don't think that they can bring charges against Joe Biden even after he left office because of one of the key issues, which is his memory. In this report, he's gone into some detail. We'll read you out a bit here now that says, "We have also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Based on our direct interactions with and observations of him, he is someone for whom many jurors will want to identify a reasonable doubt. It would be difficult to convince a jury they should convict him, by then a former president well into his 80s, of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness." The other aspect of this report that seemed to really get at Joe Biden was a reference made to how he was off with remembering what year his son Beau died by several years. And so this has culminated in this press conference tonight. We can't emphasize how extraordinary this is. Joe Biden doesn't do a lot of press conferences. They keep tallies of these things for how many press interactions presidents do. By any comparison to a modern president, he is by far the one that does the least. So even after addressing this in a controlled speech environment, he's called this late night press conference in Washington, D.C., and there his temper became quickly evident.
Something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak. That's
your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not gotten. My memory is fine.
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
They express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer to that question?
Because I'm the most qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
Kieran, at one point in this press conference, Joe Biden walked away and then returned to a shouted question around Israel. It's there he appears to have mixed up the leader of Egypt with Mexico.
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate.
Look, this isn't the first time that questions have been raised around Joe Biden's mental fitness, but there's been a few incidents this week culminating in what we've seen here tonight. One of those was a reference that Joe Biden made to a conversation he had with Emmanuel Macron after he took office, but in this speech he confused him with former President of France Mitterrand, who died in 1996.
Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. It was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, "America's back." And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, "You know, Why? How long are you back for?
Kieran, what we're seeing here is more of Joe Biden on the campaign trail. He hasn't been in this kind of environment in a long time. And this is the question. Is Joe Biden fit for another 4 years in office? And this report from the special prosecutor has triggered that in a very public way.